Les Miles haters could be just days away from getting an early Christmas present, as rumors spread Monday the axe was coming down before the end of the season. Well, will Saturday's regular season finale also be the swan song for Miles in purple and gold? We'll ask our expert in all that is LSU as Jim Kleinpeter is next on Talkin Tigers. Welcome to Talkin Tigers. I'm Jim Derry. How quickly things have changed in Death Valley in just a few short weeks. From a 7-0 start with a Heisman Trophy frontrunner in the backfield and a team that was just, everyone's playoff bracket, to one that has fallen into the abyss with 3 consecutive losses for the first time in the Les Miles era. And those restless Tigers fans who have longed for a change at the top, no matter the replacement, have gone from silent to downright obnoxious. The restlessness apparently has spread, as the rumor is the alums have the money ready to pay $15 million for the hat's head. To discuss this, we turn to a man who has been sleeping, eating, and breathing this story for more than 24 hours, and that's LSU beat writer Jim Kleinpeter. Welcome in, Jim, and talk about where did these rumors come from?
Well, this is a lot like politics. It's not the LSU administrators that really fuel all this. They don't make the decisions. It's LSU supporters that contribute money to Tiger Athletic Foundation, and they have a lot. They put a lot of money into the program, and then they keep it in a state where the LSU does not have to draw any funds from the taxpayers. So the boosters feel like they have ownership, and when they don't like what's going on, they start talking, and they get upset and act emotionally. And I think after the Arkansas game, they were very upset with they'd been apparently been speaking with Les Miles about his contract, and just had enough, and feel like if they wait any longer, it's going to hurt the program, and they're going to be dealing from a position of weakness later on. So that's where all the talk is coming from, and there's a lot to it. It's not just idle talk.
Well, Jim, explain. Can the alumni can they buy out the contract themselves? I mean, how would that work? Would they donate the money to the university? How does that all work?
Yeah, they would donate the money. They would, and that's why I was very skeptical of this in the beginning, because you're talking about a lot of money. If Les stays, he's going to make $17 million if he coaches through 2019, but that's obviously not going to happen. But it's going to cost $15 million to buy him out of this, and of course that's spread over, I think, 8 years according to the contract. But it's still a lot of money to commit to just so you can make a change, and then you're still going to be paying somebody. So they're the ones that the money that a coach makes, Les's salary is probably, his official salary is probably around $500,000. That's what the school pays for a football coach. But to entice people to come, they raise private funds to supplement the income, and that includes a media fee, in which he's required to do radio and television, a certain amount of radio and television over the course of his contract. And then shoe contracts, and then it all ends up adding up to around $4.5 million. So, but the boosters are the ones that drive the price up with the supplemental pay. And like I said, Les makes around $500,000 as a university employee. The rest comes from outside.
Gotcha. Well, let's hear what Les had to say yesterday. He wasn't quite his normal self. He was a little bit more stoic. Let's hear what he had to say, and then we'll talk about it.
I didn't know we were doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you've heard the reports. You know that some people already have you fired. Some people have you fired at the end of the week.
Yeah, they had me in a job not long ago either, too, as I recall. In fact, on a plane that I was not on. So,
knowing what's ahead of you, would you like to be involved in the discussion should it come to a departure?
I don't want to go there. That would be I would be not doing my job as the head coach at LSU, one that I've enjoyed doing, and a group of young men that I enjoy representing. So I what is the future is, to me, after the Texas A&M game, great games to be played, Tiger Stadium, and so I'm not going to find myself watching TV or reading papers or doing anything but preparing a game plan, looking at the advantages that we can have and seeing if we can exploit them to victory.
Jim, he wasn't quite himself yesterday. Obviously, he's heard the rumors, but I'm not sure how much he knows about all this. What do you think he knows?
He knows everything. I mean,
okay.
He's got an agent, and they're not going to do anything without talking to his agent. Les knows. His nature, and he's like this all the time. It's not just when his contract is up for renewal or he's going to get fired. He's like this all the time. He does not want distractions. So he will never talk about one of his players. So he keeps everything on the QT. He obfuscates and just doesn't answer questions, and it's always, this isn't the right time for that, or, we got to keep from being distracted. We're focused on the game, blah, blah, blah. So you're right. I mean, you did pick up on something that this is all kind of wearing on him,
right.
And he's afraid of it costing the team a victory. I mean, I think he sincerely cares about his players and their attention and their focus on the game. He wants them to go out as winners. He wants to win the game too.
All right, so I know the answer because I watched your vlog with Ron yesterday, but do you think this will happen? If so, when?
Well, I don't know. The way it seems to be already being badly handled. You probably don't want this to come out at this point. But it's this is when it gets talked about. It leaks out. People have egos. They want to talk as if I can do this and we can do this and it's going to happen. But if they have any sense at all, they'll get this done next week. Get it done quickly. Probably won't let him coach the bowl game. Maybe let one of the assistants coach the bowl game, and then go through the next week trying to line up the next coach. Because the longer you wait, the more recruiting is going to suffer, and you saw already that their prize commitment for next year's class, Felipe Franks, is already decommitted and appears to be headed for Florida. So you can't let this continue. LSU had a pretty good class locked up, and it looks like it could all fall apart if they wait too long. So I'm thinking next week.
Real quickly, give me a percentage on the chance that Les stays.
0.
0 chance Les stays. You heard it here. And one more real quickly. Jimbo Fisher has been mentioned. If LSU is going to make this move, they have to have somebody in mind already, right?
Absolutely, and I think they shouldn't be talking about doing this unless they have already spoken to him and they have some kind of verbal commitment to go, beyond a certain milestone. So they've got to at least be talking to him and have some kind of commitment with his agent.
LSU beat writer Jim Kleinpeter, thanks for joining us. I know you got a busy week. Let's see what happens.
My pleasure, Jim.
For today's Extra Point, we have a few interesting numbers for you if Les Miles is indeed released before or immediately following the end of the season. First, since the start of the 2014 season, 29 Division I college football coaches have left their respective programs, not counting interim coaches, and that's whether it be on their own choosing or being fired. Of those 29, want to guess how many have a winning percentage as good or better than the Mad Hatters? At 775? Well, that'd be 0. As in zip, as in nada. Also, while at LSU, no one has coached more than who has coached more than 7 games has a better winning percentage than Miles, and that's including Nick Saban. It's also including Jerry DiNardo and Curly Hallman. Also, only one coach in the Tigers' history has more wins at LSU than Miles, and that's Charlie McClendon. What does all this mean? It means be careful what you wish for, Tigers fans. With that, we'll call it a day and wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Remember, fry turkey good, jive turkey bad. See y'all.